Alright, Chapter 2, Superfudge. Before the end of the week, Fudge asked the big question, how did the baby get inside you, Mummy? So, Mum borrowed me a copy of How Babies Are Made, and she read it to Fudge. As soon as he had the facts straight, he was telling anybody and everybody exactly how Mum and Dad had made the baby. He told Henry, our elevator operator, and Henry smiled and said, that's a mouthful for a small fry like you. He told the checker at the supermarket. Her eyes got bigger and bigger until Mum said, that's enough, Fudgy. But I'm just getting to the good part, Fudge said. Peter, Mum said, it's getting very warm in here. Why don't you take Fudge outside? He saw a pregnant woman on the bus and said, I know what you're growing inside you, and I know how it got there, too. The woman got up and changed her seat. He told Grandma. She said to my mother, Anne, do you think it's wise for him to know so much? In my days, we talked about the stork. What's a stork? Fudge asked. It's a big bird, I told him. Like Big Bird on Sesame Street? Not exactly. I like birds, Fudge said. I want to be one when I grow up. You can't be a bird, Grandma said. Why not? Because you're a boy. So what? Fudge says, and he laughed like crazy and turned somersaults on the floor. Fudge never stopped talking about his favorite subject. He told his preschool class, and his teacher was so impressed she phoned and asked Mum to come to the school. The children had a lot of questions for her. So Mum went to the Fudge's class and enjoyed it so much she offered to come to my class too. And I told her, no thanks. I hadn't told anyone she was going to have a baby. Except Jimmy Fargo. I tell him just about everything. And Sheila Tubman knew because she lives in our building and could see that Mum was pregnant. She's very old to be having a baby, isn't she? Sheila asked one afternoon. She's 34, I said. Sheila opened her mouth. Oh, she's really old. She's not as old as your mother, I said. I had no idea how old Mrs. Tubman was, but Sheila's sister, Libby, was 13, so I guess that Mrs. Tubman was older than Mum. But you don't see my mother having a baby, do you? Sheila asked. No, but I couldn't think of anything else to say. I didn't understand what she was getting at anyways. When I went upstairs, I asked Mum, isn't 34 a little bit old to be having a baby? I don't think so, Mum said. Why? Oh, I'm just wondering. Grandma had Aunt Linda when she was 38. Oh, so my mother wasn't the oldest woman in the world to be having a baby, and Sheila didn't know what she wasn't talking about, as usual. On February 26, while my 5th grade class was on a trip to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, my sister was born. Later I found out that she was born at exactly 2:04 in the afternoon, just as we were in the Egyptian room studying mummies. They named her Tamara Roxanne, but for weeks everybody called her the baby. The baby is crying. The baby is hungry. Shh, the baby is sleeping. Soon, instead of calling her the baby, Mum started saying this dumb thing like, how's my little tootsie wootsie? As if the baby could answer her. Does my little tootsie wootsie need to be changed? Yes, almost always. Does my little tootsie wootsie need a feeding? Yes, almost always. And Mum's little tootsie wootsie never slept more than 2 hours at a time. Every night I'd wake up to her howls. Turtle, who slept at the foot of my bed, woke up too, and then he'd howl along with her. This was a regular duet. By the time she was 1 month old, everybody was calling her Tootsie. Right away I could see that there would be problems. I tried to warn my mother and father. When she goes to school with a name like that, the kids are going to tease her. They'll call her Tootsie Roll, or worse. Mum and Dad just laughed. Oh, Peter, you're so funny. Only I wasn't being funny at all. I knew what I was talking about, but there was nothing I could do about it. I had a brother called Fudge, and now I have a sister called Tootsie. Maybe what my parents really wanted was a candy factory. I wonder how I got off so easy. Tootsie was much smaller than I expected, but she was tough. I found out that when Fudge tried to pull off her toes. I just wanted to see what would happen, he explained when Tootsie screamed. You must never do that again, Mum told him. How would you like it if Peter tried to pull off your toes? I couldn't help laughing at that one. Peter knows my toes don't come off, Fudge says. Well, neither do Tootsie's, Mum said.